Hello Year 10 and 11, welcome to your video that looks at analysing character and how to write about character in A Christmas Carol. This video will focus on the Cratchit family. So, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know this is part of every video, but I will just go through it again. Why do novelists create characters? You might have the following answers. Just so we can be interested, to make the story flow, to make the reader read on, so we'll read it, because they want to. Well, these are all valid ideas, but in terms of analysing literature, we're going to have to say no to that one. Okay. Let's have a little look at some answers that fit nicely with our goal, which is to be able to analyse character efficiently in A Christmas Carol. Why do novelists create characters? To represent a certain type of person in society, to encourage the reader to think about the character's personality traits, to criticise a certain type of person, or to deliver a moral lesson, the didactic message, which is the teaching point of the text, any text that you look at in terms of literature. Okay? So, we'll just go through our key words. Again, these are in every video, but I change the examples every time to fit with the character that we're looking at. So first of all, emblematic, representing concept or quality. The Cratchits are emblematic of the deserving poor during the Victorian period. Device, something a writer uses to make a point. The Cratchits are a device used by Dickens to exemplify the stoicism of the working classes. I'll explain that word stoicism in a bit. Vehicle, a way that a writer gets their point across. The Cratchits are a vehicle used by Dickens to emphasise the vulnerability of the poor during the Victorian era. Symbol, very similar to emblematic, a slightly simpler word. Tiny Tim symbolises the power of pure moral optimism. Again, we'll have a look at some of those words later on. Representative, one thing being a substitute for another. The Cratchits represent the unfair treatment of the hard-working, impoverished lower classes during the Victorian era. Okay, so there are key words with examples for the character we're looking at, which are the Cratchits. So here's our key vocabulary for the Cratchit family. First of all, we've got Stoic. That means keeping calm and keeping positive and continuing despite bad things happening to you. Okay, it goes back to the ancient Greeks, and there were a group of philosophers called the Stoics. We'll be more on that in later videos, but the adjective Stoic means basically just getting on with it and not complaining. Moral, so that's the idea of knowing right from wrong. So the Cratchits are very moral people, they're very good, they're very pure. Altruistic means generous, friendly, kind. Deserving poor, so we see the Cratchits as a aspect of society that is kind of unfairly treated and therefore they are deserving. Impoverished, that means kind of a better word for poor. Vulnerable means that they are kind of at risk to harm or to hardship. Hardworking, I'm sure we know what that one means. You all are very hardworking. And optimistic, that means kind of looking on the bright side of things. You know, the character that particularly exemplifies that is Tiny Tim. He's very optimistic. Okay, so you can pause the video there and jot those ideas down. It's up to you. Okay, so how do I write about character? Again, if you have watched any of my other videos, you know how this works. So the Cratchits are hardworking people. This is shown by the fact that even the children have to work. We had a great deal of work to finish up last night, replied the girl. This demonstrates that the Cratchits must have been very poor. Whilst this is correct, it's still a no. Well, a nope, to be specific. Okay, it talks about the Cratchits as if they're real people and doesn't expand on the analysis enough. Okay, so some tips. Do not write about the characters if they are real. They're not. They are emblems, devices, vehicles, symbols of real people. They are representative of the writer's views and attitude. Okay, there are key points. They're in all of my videos, but they're things you must remember. Let's try again. Dickens uses the Cratchits as a device in order to demonstrate how, despite how unfairly the poor are treated by society, they persevere and are deserving. Mrs. Cratchit is described as brave in ribbons, demonstrating the poor's optimistic stoicism in the face of adversity, and so on and so on. Okay, so this paragraph, or the start of a paragraph, explores the idea that Dickens creates the Cratchits to show us the plight of the poor and to have us feel sympathy for the poor as a social group. Okay, so the Cratchits represent the deserving poor as a social group. They're not real, they're a character, but they represent real people in society. And the Queen of Proofs. Okay, some key takeaways. Again, these are in every video. Use the key character vocab and the specific adjectives to talk about character. Think about why the writer has presented the character in this way. What is the moral lesson? Don't write about them as if they are real, and don't give a summary of character description. Think about why they're described this way, okay? Don't just talk about how, Scrooge is described as solitary as an oyster and hard and sharp as flint. Why is he described like that? Okay? So, over to you. Use the key vocabulary to write a couple of sentences, analyse the character using the following quotes. Okay, they're both from stage 3. The first one is, Peter might have known and very likely did the inside of a pawnbroker's, okay? The pawnbrokers is a place where you go to swap your goods for money and you are able to buy them back if they've not already been bought by somebody else, okay? It's what the poor, really up until kind of the late 20th century, the poor kind of something you had to resort to in the days before kind of welfare and things like that. And the second quote, Bob held his withered little hand in his as if he loved the child. So Dickens is talking about Bob and Tiny Tim. Okay, so have a go, post a response in the comments or email me. Okay, if you're watching this video and you're a Whitby High student and you've not checked your emails recently, please check them because there's some key information about all of this for you. Okay, thank you very much.